Video tutorial on apply broadcast aggregate and binary operations in Python Panda. All right, so the students, those who have missed out some sessions and all, they can get the explanation from this particular video session. Okay, and the thing is that if you don't understand anything, you can ask the query into the classroom wall, okay, in the comment section. So the thing is that this particular video actually I have aimed in order to learn it better. All right, and you should go through this particular video and must implement it practically. All right, let us see the programs that have been constructed for you, and I think it will be a better way to understand this particular methods. All right, so let us see those programs. Well, students, today we'll discuss the Boolean reduction and the descriptive statistics with pandas. All right. So now in the Boolean reduction, you can apply reductions with empty, any, all to provide a way to summarize a Boolean result. The all is used to check if all or any item is non-zero, non-empty, or not false. Let us discuss with the help of a practical implementation of the same. Okay. So this is the one actually. So how you see out here it is given true and true, here it is also true, false and false. So what does the empty says? This is an empty data frame. It will not show, you don't need to give the empty command with this. This is an empty data frame will be printed as it has been given in the remark. Now next there is a data series of which have been created as data frame, and we are printing out here df.all. Now all what it says is returns true if all the elements in the series or in a data frame axis are non-zero, not empty, or not false. So if we check its output, then you will be able to see. Uh, Check out here. Let the output to be generated. Okay, now the output has been generated. Now you see it out here. What does it? What does it do? See, this is an empty data frame, so the column index nothing is there. Now x is given true, means both of them true are true, then true. Then if one of them is false, then it will return here false. Okay, clear? So if it returns, so what does it all returns? It returns true if all the elements in the series or in a data frame axis are non-zero, not empty, or not false. Okay, so they are false, that's why it has returned false. But any is unlike the all. As the name suggests, it performs an or operation, means either of the one. If any of the values along the specified axis is true, it will return true. So as it is returning true out here, you can see, and then the last one is false. So it is returning altogether a data type value. So this is a kind of reduction you can say. Okay. So this is what a panda reduction. So with the help of all and any and empty is also there, we can do the Boolean reduction. Okay. Python Panda has the ability to manipulate some statistical data and calculate results of various statistical operations. Okay, and the statistical methods helps us in understanding and analyzing the behavior of data, means how the data is functioning. So one of the important method is data aggregation. Aggregation, you can say that suppose you have getting in your report cards, right? There are 5 marks altogether. Whatever value is coming, whatever the average is coming, what is the maximum value, what is the minimum value that has been that can be printed, that can be given. All right. So now the thing is that so and practical implementation, if we see of this ones, then you will be able to understand. Here a list has been taken: Ajay, Binay, Sania, Deep, Radhika, Shaurya, Noni, Bobby, and all, and their age has been taken as well, and their score also has been taken. So here I have used two methods. One is max, another is mean. Max means it returns the maximum value of the specified data frame, sorry, specified column, and mean is returning the minimum value of the column. Okay, minimum value of the column. Now you see when I am exactly executing the program. Okay, so what the output is generated here, you see out here. So sorry, I'll just do it on a clean screen. So none, and then none module I'm doing out here. You see out here how it is functioning. Okay. Okay, here you see the maximum value. It is easy to understand. Maximum value in the score is 26. 26, and L is the data type, don't bother about it. 26 is the maximum age, and 89 is the maximum value in the score. Okay, and why the Vinay? Because the Vinay has come because this gives the Vinay is actually as it will compare each name of the data frame on the basis of the ASCII code, since the character V has the highest ASCII value, because it starts with the capital A 65 and ends at 90. So V is having the highest value, so that's why the output is so obtained. And here you see the A is having the least value, that's why the Ajay, and the minimum age is 22, and the minimum score will be 31. So here's little a bit mistake is there, so we can change it out by typing here minimum score. So then finally we can execute the program to get the output once more. Okay, so it has come now. You see out here the output has been generated as score. Okay, out here. Okay, so minimum score is 33 and minimum age is 22. So these are the aggregate functions of. Now apply method, as I had told earlier to you. So this function, what it does actually apply. Yesterday I had told you that there are three functions. In fact, one is the pipe function, and then is the apply functions, and apply map function is also there. Now today we are doing the apply function. What does it do? This function performs the custom operation on the elements row wise or column wise. So you have to give row wise dot apply or column wise dot apply. Okay, function manipulates the data based on rows or columns on the data frame. That's the thing. Okay, that's what the apply. So whatever you do on apply, that will be done in that way. Fine. So what is happening in fact is to calculate the mean marks are obtained by all the students in both the subjects, English 1 and English 2. We will see now first row wise, then column wise. Let us see two programs out here. Yes, this is the thing. Okay, what does it say? Here a true series has been taken in the dictionary format. Okay, in the dictionary format, and has been converted into data frame by using the data frame D, and print df and apply np.mean axis 1. We have imported, you see, one thing to watch here, numpy as np and np.mean axis 1. Here axis 1 actually implies the row wise manipulation. Fine. So row wise manipulation means what? It will there are two rows are there, you can see out here. One is English marks 2. Now you see, once I will execute this program, you will be able to understand. Now you see the output, you will be able to understand. Fine. Now you see out here, it has come out here in this way. So what is that? 55.571. So how many rows? 0, 1, 2. There are 3 rows. So 22 plus 89, whatever be the result, has been divided by 2, which yield 55.5. Okay, if you just add it mentally, then 22 plus 89 is coming 111, and 111 by 2 is 55.5. So this program, this shows you the output, the row wise output in all other three cases. The same thing has been happened. Then we can say one thing that conclude one thing, that hash whatever remark I've given axis 1. So axis 1 actually implies the row wise manipulations. So in this program, actually mean of marks obtained in both the subjects, English 1 and English 2, is computed by passing argument. This is called actually the argument. Axis equals to 1 to function apply. Okay, so it implies, so what does it imply? It implies the row wise manipulation. Fine. So this program is actually showing you the Python pandas apply with row wise manipulation. So next we will do the column wise manipulation. Okay, let's see the program once, so you will understand, I think. This is the column wise manipulation. So nothing change, no, not much change. So this is the advantage of Python, that you can reuse the program for other thing also. So axis 1, actually when I have given axis 0, sorry, it is written 1 by mistake, it will be axis 0. Okay, so whenever you are giving the axis 0, that time then it is actually implies the column wise manipulation. Same argument has been passed. Okay, np.mean, and instead of axis 1 we have passed here axis 0. Okay, now you see the run I'm doing now, run module. So I'll explain you the output once it comes. Let's see how it functions. All right, next is what you see out here. There are how many columns? You can see there are 2 columns, and the output has been taken in column wise manner. That time it was row wise manner, but now it is in column wise manner. Okay, so what is happening out here? 22, 55, 67 has been added, and the total has been divided by 48, 3, and it gives you the average as 48. A similar thing had happened over here also. So it is coming around 84, the average. So all the 3 marks has been added up, and finally it has been divided by 3 in order to find out the mean. Okay, mean means are arithmetic. Arithmetical mean means here it is average. So axis 0 and axis 1 you have to remember. Here axis 0 is actually showing you the column wise manipulation. Sorry, the wrong command has been written. Column wise manipulation. Okay, and that time we have seen the row wise manipulation. Fine. So that is the apply method, apply all. So you can use other methods also, sum, count, all these things also you can count, you can use, and along with mean and all, along with instead of mean and all, in order to check the output. Fine. Okay, till then you just watch both the videos properly and implement it practically. So I don't think so you'll not have any problem. Okay, and any problem occurs, then you definitely ask me. All right, thank you. Well, students, today another function, that is apply map. So I had told you at the beginning of this one, there are three functions applications are there. One is pipe, apply, and apply map. Today is the last one, that is the apply map. Okay, now apply map function is used to perform element wise function application in Python pandas. So what does it do? It actually performs the specified operation for all the elements of the data frame. Let us see one program demonstration out here in Python. You see out here this particular program. Okay, element wise function application. So what it does actually, here we have taken a new function. I will explain it after this program. That is called lambda. Lambda is actually an anonymous function, one typically writes a lambda function on the fly when one wants to write a function for one-time use. That is for one-time use, and it has to write in a single line and no return is there. Okay, now lambda functions come in a handy variety of situations and are of great use in Python's built-in functional commands like map, reduce, and filter. One can see the lambda function is like the regular function except that it does not have a name def. Like we use the, suppose you want to do a function on summation of three numbers. So use first the word def sum, then within bracket ABCI passed will be passed as argument, but here it is not like that. To define a function it does not require def in lambda. The lambda function is written in a single line. One can assign a lambda function to a variable and use it later, like we have done out here, x equal to x plus 2. What does it mean? It actually increment the value of each element in the in the dictionary series, pd.series by 2. Okay, that is the thing has been defined out here. Okay, so you see out here one more lambda program I am showing you out here. You see out here this program. This program, if you take it an example as a lambda, so finding the sum of three numbers using lambda. So what is lambda? A, B, C are the three arguments, and A plus B plus C is the expression for lambda. Okay, if you go back over here, okay, the syntax I can show you out here. Okay, that is the thing, I can show you the syntax of lambda. Okay, you see this program actually. Okay, the output I will generate right now. Okay, so it is the syntax. What is the syntax? Lambda, arguments, and expression. So this is the argument, these are the arguments, and this is the expression. You can find out the three products also, that doesn't matter. Okay, so whatever expression you give according to its arguments, the function will be function will run. Okay, now let us come out here. Once to run this program, then we will go to that. Then run here. What I had told you, each element of the series will increase by 2. Then I am running the module, executing the module. Now let us see what does it show out here. Okay, let us see out here. So the it has come, this is the original data frame, and when you have got it, the incremented value, so 22 plus 2 is 24, 55 plus 2 is 57, 67 plus 2 is 69, similarly 89 plus 2, 87 plus 2, and 78 plus 2 is 80 has been has generated as output. Fine. So that is what the apply map function it does with the help of lambda. So on the each element, whatever you want to apply, you can apply it via lambda. All right, that is the thing. So now let us see this lambda program. Okay, so it is the applying the sum of three numbers out here, executing the module. Now you see what does it do. This is the output is 13. 5 plus 6 is 11, and plus 2 is 13 has been printed as the output. Let us change this program a bit. Okay, let us change this program a bit, and let's see what we do instead of doing this one. What I will do, I will just multiply it, or yeah, multiply it here. It is this. Okay, it is adding the product. Okay, let us modify a bit. Yeah, product. Okay, That is the run function out here, run module. Okay, all right. Now you see out here how the things has been changed. Yes, first it was coming out some, now it is coming out. Now it is showing you the product. Okay, you see product of three numbers is equals to 60. Okay, so 5 6 30 30 into 2 is 60. Very simple. So simple program this one is. Okay, so the lambda is always handy. Okay, because for all kind of situations it can help us whenever we write a single line function. All right, and remember it does not require any def to define this function, and it does not contain any return statement. It is an anonymous function also called. Okay, and it is a regular function. Thus in the above program, lambda function is referred to for solving the expression on the basis of data frame for the subject marks in English 1 and English 2. Each and every element has been increased by 2. All right, follow my next video. Okay, now next what we are doing actually, the binary operations on data frame. Okay, two data frames I mean. So now you see out here this program. So binary operations on two data frames. This one we will discuss in the class, and you can watch the video also in order to understand it better. Okay, so this is an interaction between you and this is an interaction between you and me in this way. Okay, so binary operations on two data frames, import pandas as PD as well, that we have to give. One thing I want to remind out here, that instead of PD you can take anything. Okay, any identifier you can take, but it must start with an alphabet as per the rules of the creation of identifier. Okay, so no blank spaces and special character to be used out here, better to stick to the alphabets only. So we are creating again data frame from dictionary. Okay, so you can see few data has been taken, test1 and test2 are the two levels out here, means two columns. We have taken two data frame object out here. One is ds, another is ds1. Okay, converting the dictionary into data frame object. Fine. Okay, so created. Now you see what is the meaning of this one. Okay, sub, r sub, add and r add, all these things, multiplication and divisions. Fine. So this is called actually, this is the binary addition. All right, this is the binary addition. Now what it will do, see, the any kind of operations can be done out here. Okay, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You can see the methods have been taken, but what is radd and what is the r sub? This is actually the functions r sub and rs stand for the right side subtraction and right side addition. The r sub function subtract each element in a data frame with the corresponding element in the other data frame. So r add function adds each element in a data frame with the corresponding element in the other data frame. Fine. So now the things, once we are executing this program, we will be able to understand it. Fine. Okay, so I'm executing this one. Okay, now you see out there the output will be generated in a short while. Yes, the output has been generated. Now you see out here, first two things you can see out here, two data frames have been printed with the test levels and all whatsoever. Now you see the subtraction. Normal the subtraction has taken place out here. So it is actually what the normal subtraction, 5 minus 3 to 6 minus 3, in this way this has been taken. So the output has come to 3 2 3 minus 3 as well and all. Now you watch out this r sub one, which is very very important. R sub, how it has been taken, you see the test1 and test2. Okay, so 3 minus 5, how much it is? Minus 2. 3 minus 6, it is minus 3. Okay, and then 6 minus 8, it is minus 2, and 6 minus 8, it is minus 2. Yes, and then 6 minus 3 is 3, and then 8 minus 10 is what? 2. You watch it here, out here, you can understand better. Minus 3, instead of minus 8 is plus 3. Okay, why? Because it is 6 minus. The right side means the student one is the right side we are talking about. Okay, and this is the way. The addition also is the same thing. You can see the 5 plus 3, 8, 6 plus 3, 9, 8 plus 6. All these things have taken place out here. And similarly, here is no such difference you will be able to understand, because both the things are, both the additions are doing the same thing, and there are no rmul or and our div like that function. So it is directly has been taken mul and div. Okay, so you can see the division out here, it has come in the decimal, because 3 has been divided by 5, 3 has been divided by 6 as well, that's why you can see out here. Okay, and 6 divided by 3, it is 2, And in that way the division has taken place, and you can see out here 5 is a 15, 6 is a 18 in this way. Okay, so the output has been generated. Only the thing is that you have to understand the subtraction, that is from the right hand side. 3 minus 5, 3 minus 6, 6 minus 8, 6 minus 3, 8 minus 10, and the same thing had been happened out here. This is the binary operation on two data frames over here. Okay, so the thing is that once you are getting the explanation from me, you should also see how the things are working in your system. You also practice in your system, and if any query, if you need to clarify or further clarification is required, you can ask me so via WhatsApp or via you can post it in the comment section of the Google Classroom. Okay, so that's all. So please try it out. Okay, and get it nicely done. Okay, fine. Okay, this is the binary operation on two data frame. Thank you. Broadcasting operation in pandas. The term broadcasting comes from NumPy. Simply, it is actually to output the results when we perform the operations between n-dimensional arrays, could be data frame or series or scalar values. It is actually the method applied by the pandas while dealing with arrays or different shapes while performing arithmetic operations. In this method, usually the smaller array is broadcasted across the larger array so that they have compatible shapes. So you can see the programs out here. Now we will see is implementation in Python. So first of all, we have to open the file. I have written already the file for you. Okay, so I'm opening this one. That is the pandas broadcasting. I'll open it. Just a minute. Panda broadcast one. This file you see out here the output once. So the run. I'm doing the running execution. Okay, you can see out here. So this is the output actually with the Panda broadcast. Okay, so that is the thing. So you see out here, this output actually has been generated out here. So and you can see it out here. This is the previous output. I'm doing it fresh for you. Just a minute, you watch it carefully. Run and then do run module, and then you see out here the output to be generated. Now it has come. You can see out here. So the df1 and df2 both the arrays have been printed, and they are the broadcasting stars actually. You can see out here. Okay, 2 plus 5 it is giving you 7. 5 plus 8 it is giving you 13. This is a broadcasting an arithmetic addition operation. And here what is happening, a scalar value has been added out here. A scalar value 50 has been added with each value of df1, so thereby getting the output 50 plus 2 52, 50 plus 5 55, 50 plus 6 56, and so on. So this is a kind of broadcasting the values, okay, in the data frame. Now another kind of broadcasting is also possible, but this time we will do with the a single 1D array. Okay, now see broadcast just a minute, broadcast 2, this one. Okay, now you see out here, so I'll execute this program. This is just the operation has been done in a single dimensional array. Out here, you watch the output out here. You see out here, each value has been added with 10, 50, and 100 of this one. So 10 plus 2 has been become 12, and 50 plus 5 is 55, and 100 plus 6 is 106. And as well, the second series also has been added with this particular values. So in this way, we can do the things. We can do the broadcasting operations as well. Now, apart from this broadcasting, sometimes what happens that so the values are not there in the array. Okay, values are not there in the array, and we have to see the things right now. Just a minute. Okay, still go once. Okay, now you see the outputs are all given in the attachments and all. This is the 1D array, and the missing and filling the values. Okay, missing data and filling the values. So this is missing data and filling the values. The values with no computation or significance are called missing values. In this case, what is happening, that total array will be filled with the total array to be filled with the nan. Nan means not a number. And afterwards, if you want to fill those nan values with 0 and or some other values, you can use the fillna function. So we will see one of its implementation once here. Just let me open once this one. So you will open this file and new file as well, or in the recent file if it is there, then definitely I will show you. Yes, fillna is there. Okay, fine. So this is the program. You see out here, fill now command has been we have applied here the fill now command, and the fill now and the filling is also has been done by in the first column and the second column on the array. Fine. It is not compulsory that you have to use all the time with 0. You can fill it with other values also. Now you see out here the output. Once you watch the output, you will be able to understand. See here all the values are there: 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here also the 8 is also there, 10 and 4 is also there, 5, 8, 9. So some values are missing. So all the places the missing values have been assigned with NaN, and the FILNA has filled them up with 0, 0, 0, 0 and all. And in this command, FILNA has filled with specific columns with -10 and -5, which can be viewable out here only. So this is the way this is the use of FILNA command whenever you want to fill it up with some specific value. If you don't mention, it will be 0. Otherwise, it will be filled with the specific value in the red color. Broadcasting operation in pandas. The term broadcasting comes from NumPy. Simply, it is actually to output the results when we perform the operations between n-dimensional arrays, could be data frame or series or scalar values. It is actually the method applied by the pandas while dealing with arrays or different shapes while performing arithmetic operations. In this method, usually the smaller array is broadcasted across the larger array so that they have compatible shapes. So you can see the programs out here. Now we will see its implementation in Python. So first of all, we have to open the file. I have written already the file for you. Okay, so I'm opening this one. That is the pandas broadcasting. I'll open it. Just a minute. Panda broadcast one. This file. You see out here the output once. So the run. I'm doing the running execution. Okay, you can see out here. So this is the output actually with the panda broadcast. Okay, so that is a thing. So you see out here, this output actually has been generated out here. So and you can see it out here. This is the previous output. I'm doing it fresh for you. Just a minute, you watch it carefully. Run and then do run module, and then you see out here the output to be generated. Now it has come. You can see out here. So the df1 and df2, both the arrays have been printed, and they are the broadcasting starts actually. You can see out here. Okay, 2 plus 5, it is giving you 7. 5 plus 8, it is giving you 13. This is a broadcasting an arithmetic addition operation. And here what is happening, a scalar value has been added out here. A scalar value 50 has been added with each value of df1. So thereby getting the output 50 plus 2, 52. 50 plus 5, 55, 50 plus 6, 56, and so on. So this is a kind of broadcasting the values, okay, in the data frame. Now another kind of broadcasting is also possible, but this time we will do with the a single 1D array. Okay. Now see broadcast. Just a minute. Broadcast 2, this one. Okay. Now you see out here, so I'll execute this program. This is just the operation has been done in a single dimensional array. Out here, you watch the output out here. You see out here, each value has been added with 10, 50 and 100 of this one. So 10 plus 2 has been become 12, and 50 plus 5 is 55, and 100 plus 6 is 106. And as well, the second series also has been added with this particular values. So in this way, we can do the things. We can do the broadcasting operations as well. Now, apart from this broadcasting, sometimes what happens that so the values are not there in the array. Okay, values are not there in the array, and we have to see the things right now. Just a minute. Okay, still go once. Okay, now you see the outputs are all given in the attachments and all. This is the 1D array, and the missing and filling the values. Okay, missing data and filling the values. So this is missing data and filling the values. The values with no computational significance are called missing values. In this case, what is happening, that total array will be filled with the total array to be filled with the NaN. NaN means not a number. And afterwards, if you want to fill those NaN values with 0 and or some other values, you can use the fillNA function. So we will see one of its implementation once here. Just let me open once this one. So you will open this file and new file as well, or in the recent file. If it is there, then definitely I will show you. Yes, Filna is there. Okay, fine. So this is the program you see out here. Filna command has been we have applied here the Filna command, and the Filna and the filling is also has been done by in the first column and the second column on the array. Fine. It is not compulsory that you have to use all the time with 0. You can fill it with other values also. Now you see out here the output. Once you watch the output, you will be able to understand. See here all the values are there: 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here also the 8 is also there, 10 and 4 is also there, 5, 8, 9. So some values are missing. So all the places the missing values have been assigned with NaN, and the Filna has filled them up with 0, 0, 0, 0 and all. And in this command, Filna has filled with specific columns with -10 and -9, which can be viewable out here only. So this is the way this is the use of Filna command whenever you want to fill it up with some specific value. If you don't mention, it will be 0. Otherwise, it will be filled with the specific value in the red color. Now, in the second part, some more commands we will see in Python Panda. Okay. Now you see the second part of is that you see I have given the attachment also. You can see the output when the output images also you can to verify the output also. Replacing the constant value column wise that I have already had shown you this one in my previous video. That's you can watch it out there also. And each of the programs to be implemented practically. Now the interpolate value, what is happening in this case? This is very interesting, this is in this missing values by copying the value from above adjacent cell using the following method. That is df. Df means it is a data frame object and fill now, and then in the bracket you have to give an attribute that is method equals to ffill. Okay, so this particular program we will see the its output once. Let me open it once for you. So I will open it right now, file, and then go to the recent file. Here I use a command called filna. Yes, here it is. Okay, there is no, I mean it is not interpolate actually. The file name also will be like that. Interpolate, yes, interpolate.py. .py is the extension for any Python program. Okay, whatever you do, that will be saved with py. Here you are having the scope to uh, fill your all programs in your own folder. Like I am opening it from a folder called NumPy programs. Okay, so normally if you do Python XY, then there is an XY default folder is there. If you don't wish to do so, you can do it also your folder. Okay, that is the NumPy programs. I have saved all my programs out here, so it will be easy to find out from here actually. Now I am executing this program with the interpolate values. Interpolate, what it does, it is actually copying the value from the above adjacent cell using the following method, that is df.fillna method ffill, that you can see out here. This is the command is responsible for copying the values from the just above immediate above cell. Okay, immediate above the cell which is immediate above. Okay, now you see, watch out here. Okay, the output, yes, so the output will be appearing. Yes, here you see out here nan wherever I have not mentioned 5 values. Here only one value, so 8. Rest of the 5 values will be null. I mean nan, not a number, and 10 4 is here, then rest 3, and here 5 8 9 will be here, and then nan. Okay, so no values have been assigned out here. So these are not like actually these are uneven array, you can say. Okay, so here the PDF data frame PDF normal has been printed. Now say interpolation has taken place out here, that is print df dot fillna method ffill has been applied out here. You see here where is the nan out there. Here 5 is here, and then 5 has come over here, and 6 is here, and 6 is come over here. 7 is here, 7 has been copied, 8 has been copied as well, and 6 7 8 as well, and 7 8 has been copied. So wherever the nan was there, okay, everywhere the value have been filled. Okay, and the values have been copied from where? From the just above column. The column which is just above, the same value has been copied. If you follow the output, you can understand it more clear. Okay, so I would like to suggest you to do the programs practically for a better understanding. And this kind of programs are very important. Whenever some certain code will be given to you, fragment of the code will be given to you, and you have to generate the output. So there are many types of many types of uses are there of this one. Okay, so that is the thing. So we have seen the output very nicely out here. So in the previous one also I have explained, and in this video also I have explained you. So my suggestion is that to implement it properly. I mean, okay. So that is the thing. So you can change the values in the arrays, and you can see the changes, how the changes has taken place. Okay. And other thing also, if you want to take one more array, how the changes have been taken place, all these things you can experiment. Okay, because you are having the time now to experiment and do your practical. I'll rather stress on the practical job. So it should be done. Okay, so if you don't have the software, you download it. A link had already sent to you via WhatsApp group. You can find out, and otherwise you go to python.org to download Python XY. So everything, if you download it, I think it will work. Okay, there will be no problem. So thank you for the things. Okay, fine.